Alright guys, we are starting chapter 8 today. Should definitely be a review of some very simple geometry concepts. Points, lines, planes, and angles. Go ahead and pause here, solve these equations, and then press play when you're ready to correct. Right, so here are your solutions. 60, 77, 148, 29, and 70. Okay, so there is lots of vocabulary today, so we'll just take it bit by bit, and most of this is review anyway. So points, lines, and planes are the building blocks of geometry. Segments, rays, and angles are defined in terms of these basic figures. So a point is obviously a name of a location. A line is perfectly straight and extends forever in both directions. A plane is a perfectly flat surface that extends forever in all directions. A segment or line segment is the part of a line between 2 points. A ray is the part of the line that starts at one endpoint and extends forever in one direction. So we're just going to name a figure. So we're going to name a line, and there's actually 2 lines on this figure here. We have line JK and line KL. ML is a line segment and MJ is a line segment. And the way we write that is a little line with arrows on both sides on top of the 2 endpoints. So the endpoints are K and L, so there's a little line. Make sure you have arrows on the top of your line. If you don't have arrows, you're writing it as a line segment. Okay, the plane is named R, and if it doesn't have a name, then you can just use any 3 points from the plane. I'm sorry, any 3 points that are not on the same line. They can form a triangle. Use a diagram to name each figure. So we have 4 segments here. So segments are parts of lines, so even though some of these are lines, they're also line segments. So we have segment JM, segment ML, LK, and KJ. Any of those can be, the order of the letters can be switched. JK is the same as KJ. 4 rays, so starting at any endpoint or any point and going forever in one direction. So JK is one ray, starting with J and going forever in the K direction, or starting at K and going forever in the J direction, starting at K and going forever in the L direction, or starting at L and going forever in the K direction. These ones, it does matter the order that you write it. It needs the first letter that appears needs to be the end point. Alright, so the 4 segments here should be AB, BR, CD, and DA. Again, those the order of letters can be switched around for any of those. For the rays, it cannot. So the rays would be RB and BR, so technically it's switched, but that's because they are both part of a line. AD and DA. Alright, use the diagram to name each figure. A line. Okay, so you can use line AD or line BR. DC they have on here is actually not a line, that is a line segment. So that answer is incorrect. The answers are A, D, and B, R.
Arshay Rao, Rebecca Solomon, Jasmine Matthias, please come to the office. Arshay Rao, Rebecca Solomon, Jasmine Matthias, please come to the office.
Sorry about the interruption. This is either plane R, because it's labeled R, or any 3 points that are not collinear, not on the same line. Okay, an angle is formed by 2 rays or sides with a common endpoint called the vertex. You can name an angle several ways: by its vertex and a point on each ray, or by a number. When 3 points are used, the middle point must be the vertex. Angles are usually measured in degrees. Since there are 360 degrees in a circle, 1 degree is 1 out of 360 of a circle. All right, go ahead and pause here. It's a good idea for you guys to at least have an example of each type of angle and what that means. Okay, so we're going to be naming each figure. A right angle, so we're looking for a 90-degree angle, and there's one here, and you can call it angle TQS or angle SQT. It needs to include those 3 letters, and Q must be the middle letter. 2 acute angles smaller than 90 are TQP and RQS or SQR. Two obtuse angles larger than 90 degrees. Okay, so we're going to have to put a couple of angles together here. So PQS and RQT will be 2 obtuse angles larger than 90 degrees. A pair of complementary angles. So the measure of these 2 angles, TQP and SQR, 47 and 43 together, they add to 90. This makes them complementary. So those are our 2 complementary angles. 2 pairs of supplementary angles. Supplementary angles add up to 90 degrees. So we would take the 2 angles TQP and RQT. So one of the acute angles, and then we make an obtuse angle with the angles that are right next to each other. Called adjacent angles. TQS and SQR are adjacent. They share one side. Okay, so we could go the other way as well. We could say 2 supplementary angles are SQR and SQP. A right angle is BEC or CEB. 2 acute angles smaller than 90, AEB and CED. 2 obtuse angles, we'll have to take 2 adjacent angles and add them together. So we have AEC and BED. Right, when here is your lesson quiz, go ahead and copy down the diagram and then answer the questions based on the diagram. And we'll be going over these in class.